JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 24th of November 2022, so welcome everyone. Welcome to this Thursday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, just a quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos. And of course, our jfdbrokers.com website, which you can always check out for more information about us. So guys, I do apologize for any kind of loud noises maybe that could be coming up like occasionally. We do have a bit of a thunderstorm, so yeah, a bit of lightning and a bit of noise coming after that. So yeah. So bear with me if, like I said, try to maybe cancel that noise out somehow, but unfortunately I won't be able to do that. But anyway, let's jump into the charts. Enough of me talking about that. Nikkei 225. So good performance here. Fantastic move to the upside. We broke above the barrier, the one that I talked about previously, and okay, great. So yeah, what's next? Well, in a way, I think that the trading could be a little bit on the careful side today. And if you remember, today the U.S. markets are going to be closed. So and tomorrow, of course, as well. Well, tomorrow, sorry, they will have an early close. They will be open initially, but they will have an early close. But anyway, coming back to Nikkei here, we've managed to push above this barrier. So as long as we stay above it, I'm still aiming for that 28,660 territory, somewhere around here, or even maybe towards that 28,793 level right there. For the downside, I need to see a drop below the lower side of this rising wedge in order to consider a move to the downside. Shanghai Composite, very quickly on that one, looking at the picture here, you can see that we came closer. We're still basically trading above that 21-day EMA, so I'm not getting my downside scenario yet. So once I get that break below the 21-day EMA, then I'll get a little bit more excited with some lower levels. For the upside, pretty straightforward, a push above that downside line, and maybe also in addition to that, a push above the 3,145 level could do the trick for a few more buyers, because a forthcoming higher high would be confirmed. And at the same time, we would be placed above the 100-day EMA. So, ASX 200, there we go. So, we remain above the 7,177 territory. I spoke about that level, and yeah, said what I said yesterday, that basically, there we go. There's another thunder rolling there. Okay, ASX, like I said, ASX 200, it remained above that 7,177 territory. Great, wonderful. My next target is the 7,269 area. Look, I'm still aiming for that as long as we stay above the 7,177 territory. For the downside, pretty straightforward. I need to see a break of this upside line taken from the low of the 3rd of October, and then we could take it from there. Nasdaq, just a quick update. I mean, we're close today. We're not doing anything with it, so just observing. But just to see where we ended the day yesterday, look, it's kind of we had a great move here. We broke the downside line. We went towards that 100-day EMA, and this is where the holdup occurred. In general, we're kind of halfway through my idea here, because the initial idea was that if we break above the 11,665 territory and this downside line, then I'll go higher, initially aiming for that 100-day EMA and maybe then the psychological 12,000 mark. Well, so far I am still aiming for that 12,000 mark, especially if we now push above the 100-day EMA. S&P 500, also similar story. Yep, we halted here. Look, I said that while you're trading within the channel, there is still, potential for this one to move higher. Of course, eventually this channel will get broken, but the question here is, will it be actually to the downside? Now, again, like I said, let's keep an eye. I'm still aiming for the upside. This is looking for me quite bullish. If we push again through this 4,029 territory, somewhere around here, then yes, this confirms a forthcoming higher high, and well, the next target here could be this 4,119 territory, marked by the high of the 12th of September, or in other words, the highest point of September. Now, jumping into a few European indices, so I'll pick up on a few. Of course, DAX, as always. Look, I mean, this barrier, the 14,400 level, sorry, 14,440 level is doing a good job here. As you can see, we had a bit of a tease. So yesterday, when I was talking about this one during the early hours of the Asian morning, and actually before the DAX opened up, I mean, I said that the cash index was sitting above this 14,440 level. But I said as well, keep your eyes on it, because basically it depends where we're going to open up, and there we go. We have opened below this 14,440 level, and we kind of drifted back down, but remained in it. Look, what I'm going to do here next. First of all, quick glance and quick look at the German index right now, the cash index, 14,450. Basically, we're again above this barrier. Question if we're going to open up there. That's a good question, because again, we had the same story yesterday, but we've opened lower, and we still kind of moved to the downside. So that doesn't mean that we're very positive. However, in general, look, it is looking quite positive. It seems like, yes, the bulls are really preparing to kind of attack here, just bear with me one moment. Yep. Okay. So yeah, it seems like the bulls are prepared to attack here. Look, we have to wait. Again, I want to see how it's going to open up today, because will we get the same problem as yesterday? If we do, then maybe there is a bit of a, an idea that we could see a retracement. However, if we push comfortably above that 14,440 zone, then yes, I'll go to the upside. And in general, guys, look, I mean, we're having these small little candles lately. Well, eventually a big one should come in, but which direction? That's going to be a good question. So, long story short, I'm waiting. So let's see which way we're going to break out to. FTSE 100. Haven't looked at this one for quite a while. Let me just remove all the drawings here. But hey, overall, what you can see here is not much has changed. Well, probably, yeah, I think, if it wouldn't be that curved, I could even make it at a range probably, but look, it's something like this. Look at how well this level, the 6,823, 24, the area around that level, how it played out fantastically. Look how well this is in general playing out. Look, I would say this way, that yes, we had a few drops below it, but we kind of failed to stay below this area. We've kind of had these false breakouts. So this means that this is the level to watch for those who are looking for some sort of a, like a drop or something like that. So yeah, this could be an idea. This could be a good option to go in. However, Look, I mean, of course, if you are bearish, I mean, probably you're already looking at some, maybe lower levels or where and a possible entry level here. I mean, we could start drawing a bunch of trend lines here, but the only problem, my problem with those is that they're all kind of tentative a little bit. So, I mean, this one is probably the closest one to something that looks at least more decent. We had a bit of a hold up yesterday here, so can we get that? Can we get that kind of move back down? Well, I would say yes, of course. Given the fact that we had a bit of a a good run here to the upside, so maybe a nice retracement back to these EMAs could be possible. However, I will consider that idea only if we continue to trade below this downside line. Once we start pushing through it, well, then this is where I'm going to start aiming for the upside, initially aiming for the highest point of August, and maybe then towards the highest point of May as well. So yeah, slowly, I will be grinding towards these levels. But at the moment, I am really curious to see if this downside line is going to provide some sort of resistance. If it does, great, we could see a bit of retracement. In terms of retracement, where we could go, well, let's put it this way. Here, 23.6 is roughly around that 7,311. Good potential target. But to be honest, I would actually aim for one of the EMAs here, probably the 21-day first, and then we would take it from there. IBEX 35, guys, very quickly on that one. Similar story. Look, I mean, I haven't looked at this one for quite a while as well. Let me remove all the drawings. So we are pushing nicely to the upside. Look, I mean, everything's looking quite attractive. We're clearing some key resistance barriers. We're creating this nice future support levels. Everything's looking quite nice. I mean, look, I mean, let me just grab another one here. This got cleared. Look, in general, ideally, I would like to see a test of this 8,540 level right here, the last one that I marked the highest point of August. Now, this would be quite interesting, quite attractive. Will we get that? That's a good question because, again, everybody's aiming for that one, and I think the market knows that everybody's aiming for that, so prepare yourself for surprises. So that's why, for example, if it goes just maybe somewhere a little bit higher but fails to reach this area and then starts to reversing back down, we would actually class that as a good result, because that could lead to maybe a bit of a decline here. But at the moment, long story short, yes, I mean, I am still aiming for the upside. For the downside, what I need here is maybe a break of this tentative upside support line taken from the low of the 13th of October. DXY, the dollar index. So, by the way, I have a bunch of instruments that I want to go through, so I'll try to speed it up a little bit. DXY, look, beautiful. I've talked about this a lot. I said that I'm aiming for that 200-day EMA. I've reached my target, and now the question is here, can we go lower? At the moment, to be honest, I'm just going to observe the price action. I'm not going to do anything here, to be honest, because I want to see if I'm not going to rebound or something like that. If we do rebound, then maybe, we could go back to the upside. So just kind of be on the careful side a little bit on this one. Yeah, so of course, logically, I am leaning towards the downside, but I need to see a good drop below this 200-day EMA, and then I'm going to aim for that 104.64 level. Gold. Now, this one's looking attractive because if it pops above the 1759 territory right here, and it also will pop above the 200-day EMA, and potentially more buyers could join in here, and this could lead to some higher levels, guys. So you can see that this area here provided fantastic support. This is what I was initially aiming for, but yeah. But yeah, let's say if it's still the same area that I'm going to be watching for the downside. So if we drop below this, then yes, I'll go lower. I'll go to the downside, and then yeah, more sellers here could join in. But for the upside, I will start looking at, and I'll start aiming for higher levels if we do push above that 1759 territory. Silver, very quickly on that one. Look at this beautiful move higher. But I said before that 21.62, this is something that I am keeping a close eye on. So yep, 21.62. This is where the current holdup is occurring. That's why it's a good level here. So if we do pop above this, I'll go a little bit to the upside. Now WTI oil, guys, look at this, dropped again. Beautiful, guys, beautiful. So this is why I said my upside scenario could come on a break above this downside line, because at the same time we would push above the 21-day EMA and potentially more buyers could join in here. But yeah, we drifted back down. We're near the lower side of this kind of range, we can call it this way. So if you're looking for the next directional move, short-term directional move, then we'll wait for a break of this lower side of the range here, which is roughly around 76.28. That's on my chart here. Maybe you have a different level here, but roughly around here, guys. If we do drop and stay below it, well, this is opening the door towards lower levels. Ethereum, so there we go. Look at this. I mean, look, I talked about this yesterday. I said that, hey, maybe, just maybe we have ourselves a descending triangle, but we don't have, it's not a very attractive descending triangle because we have a bit of a kind of space here. So that's why it's not very picture perfect, and that's why it might not even be a descending triangle. And you can see we're breaking the downside line. What I said before, that look, if we break the downside line and stay above it, I will go higher. I will aim initially for that 21-day EMA right here, but my ideal scenario is the 1350 level right here. For the downside, look, this downside line is no longer valid. So basically, it means that it might, you know, the instrument might, the crypto might kind of reverse as well back down. So this downside line got violated, but I'm keeping it on the chart for now, just to see if we're not gonna get one of my other theories, which sometimes works out, is when we break a certain, let's say, trend line, we go a little bit higher, then we reverse back down, test it from above. And then reverse and push higher again. So, you know, let's see if that's going to be the case. But again, if we fall straight away back below this downside line and falls below the 1070 territory right here, so 1070, then yes, I'll aim for the downside because a forthcoming lower low will be confirmed. Now, Litecoin, guys, this is something that I wanted to pick up on. This quietly, this one is just kind of doing what it wants to do, and it's popping. Look at this, guys. I mean, if everything is kind of down, this one is just exploding. Well, it had exploded in the past 2 days and pushed higher, created a higher high here. We were at these levels back in May, basically. So yeah, this one's looking quite nice, actually. So look, maybe the rest will follow suit. I don't know, but because at the moment the crypto world is very unpredictable, so it's truly a gamble, yeah, at the moment I would say, look, I'm just gonna purely apply technical analysis on this one, because if it stays above this upside line somewhere, then yes, I will continue aiming to the upside. However, if it starts breaking below this upside line, I'll just go lower. Simple as that. Oh, I can see in the chat room there, MG. Good morning. Good morning to you too. I hope you're having a wonderful start of Thursday. I hope everybody else is having a wonderful start of Thursday as well. So I hope, you know, I hope you all will have a great European session today. Now, AUD/USD. AUD/USD. Look, at this point here, I would say it's really nice. I mean, look at this. First of all, I have to get rid of my arrows here. I'm going to recycle this. I'm going to reuse it. There we go. And yeah, I think this level didn't really work out well. Instead, we had a good hold up near the 0.6585 zone. I think this has to be redrawn this way right now, and if you're looking for some higher levels, then certainly yes, wait for a pop above the 0.6798 territory, somewhere around here. A nice good pop above it would confirm a forthcoming higher high and potentially could lead to the 200-day EMA, and then we could start aiming for this one right here, the highest point of September, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check. Yep, that's correct. 0.6916, that could be a nice good target. This is going to be my next target, especially if we if we pop above the 0.6798 level right here. For the downside, I need to see a drop below the 0.6585. AUD, GPY, just a quick update. I talked about this one yesterday, and look, I mean, we're coiling up. It seems like we're getting into a bit of a squeeze, so I'm just observing the price action. I'm just watching this one, and I'm waiting until it's going to get out in order to consider the next short-term directional move. AUD and ZD, also something that I talked about yesterday and recently, and actually I have been talking about this for probably in every video of mine, because I really like this pair. And look at this. I mean, we rebounded from this 1.0755. Great, we're now pushing a little bit higher. So the question here is, can we go back to this downside line? Well, I mean, it could be an interesting one. Let's say this is the point where, you know, you can basically gamble here if you want, but again, I don't recommend this. I don't recommend gambling, but let's put it this way: if you're willing to take a loss, then, you know, if you place a stop loss somewhere near this 1.0755, and let's say try to capture this one to the upside towards this downside line, then yeah, maybe something, you know, good can come out of this. However, don't get me wrong, it still could go lower. Another thing that can happen, it could drop lower, take you out, and then, you know, actually go back into that direction that you were correct. Another thing, you know, I think that we might maybe see a bit of fluctuation here, so it's like a bit of undecisiveness between the bulls and the bears here. So basically this candle here might actually drop as well a little, and we could, you know, bounce around here, and then maybe tomorrow we could go a little bit higher. So again, you know, today could be that day for trying to decide who's going to win. And then tomorrow, maybe, you know, like we could get either a continuation move lower or a bit of a retracement. NZDCHF, just a quick update. Look, I mean, this one's perfect. I like this one as well. This is I think, becoming my second favorite pair. Look, it's breaking this downside line. It's looking quite positive, and in a way, I would say I will continue aiming cautiously to the upside. Because why cautiously? Because I still need to see a nice good pop above this 0.5902, somewhere around here. If we get that break, then yes, I will consider a move higher, because not a forthcoming. The forthcoming higher high could be from around here, from the 0.5917. That's from where, you know, a higher high will be confirmed. But until from here, for the 0.59, just like that psychological area, which you know, could attract more buyers if it gets broken here to the upside. USD JPY drifting lower, but still, I'm just observing this one. I need to see a drop below the 137.67 or a push through this downside line in order to aim for higher levels. Basically, that's simple. But again, let's see which way that's going to break out to. At the moment, I'm not doing any bets here because, again, I'm just observing the price action. But of course, logically, you would say, you know, hey, let's be cautiously bearish. True. That is correct. Of course, also keep your eyes on DXY today. But yeah, anything can happen here. It could still reverse back up. So it's, you know, the market is unpredictable. So, well, sometimes. So yeah, anything can happen here. But keep your eyes on this hurdle. If we drop below this, then and stay below this, then yep, further declines could be possible. USD CAD, similar story. I'll stick to the same game plan. Look, I mean, I think I need to adjust a few of my levels here. This one, for example, I think it's time to mark this a little high. But in general, if I'm looking for some higher levels, I need to see a push above the 21-day EMA right here, and then I'll go to the upside towards this downside line. For the downside here, I need to see a drop below the 1.3308, somewhere around here, or even better, maybe that psychological 1.33 territory. And if we do drop below it, then yes, I'll go lower. I'll go for this 1.3224, and maybe then, yeah, if we clear that, then my next target is the 200-day EMA. Now, GBP/USD, look at this. Look at this, guys. I mean, I kept on talking about this, a potential idea of a rising wedge, and so far it's working out. We've managed to reach my target, the 200-day EMA. I spoke about that level. Oh, sorry, the area. And there we go. Great, wonderful. What's next? Next, I would say, if it is a rising wedge, then be very careful with this upper side of it. It might provide, you know, a strong hold up. Now, another thing that can happen, and this is what kind of, a lot of traders get tricked. So for example, you would see a strong move higher. We could even break this upper side of the rising veg, a huge spike to the upside here. But then at the end of the day, if it drifts back down, just stays with, within the body of the daily candle, stays within this rising veg, then, well, what are you gonna get? You're gonna get a nice false breakout, and that means that, well, maybe actually this could end up breaking out to the downside. So let's see. I'm not rushing into anything, any kind of this. I forgot the word. Anyway, I'm not rushing into any conclusion. There we go. The word conclusion. Let's go slowly on this one. If we do break this upper side of the rising veg and stay above it, ignore the whole rising veg idea. And we will have to then start fresh. GBP CAD, also an interesting one. Look at this. I mean, rising, right? This is just beautiful. Just as perfect. Look, my question right now is, it's basically the same analysis, actually. GBP USD or GBP CAD. The same story. I'm not going to actually repeat that. It's just, like I said, it's just the same idea. So yeah, keep in mind. Euro JPY, look, this one's quite interesting because this barrier here, the highest point of September, near the 145.64, is providing good, nice resistance. Now, previously it looked at as a nice, good area of support as well here. Eventually it got broken, don't get me wrong, but then, yeah, look, it came back now at the end of November, and it respected that level. So, yeah, I'm going to respect that level too. And if I'm looking for some higher levels, then I need to see a push above this downside line, above this 145.64 level. And then we could take it from there. So yeah, long story short, for now, I am leaning a little bit more towards the downside, especially if we continue to trade below this downside line. Euro against the Mexican peso. So guys, this one's quite interesting as well. Look, I talked about this, and I said before that, hey, I like to look at these pairs because, again, they do present themselves with nice opportunities sometimes. So at the moment, this is looking a little bit more bullish than bearish. However, although, yes, it's kind of playing out according to some of the TA rules, maybe this is a nice bullish flag. Again, who knows? Looks like one, but we cannot really get excited with the upside until we get that break above this 20.22 area. This way, a nice good pop above it would confirm a forthcoming higher high. For the downside, I need to see a drop below the 19.89 zone right here, and then we could take it from there. Euro USD, guys, boom, there we go. We traveled higher yesterday. We pushed above the 200-day EMA, and we stayed above it. And now look what's happening. We're going further north. Well, this is a good question. Can we go further, even further? Well, at the moment, I would say yes, because as long as it stays above this 200-day EMA, I am positive on this one, and my next target is the 1.048182, somewhere around here, the current highest point of November. But if that gets cleared, well, guess what? This will confirm a forthcoming higher high, and the next target could be this 1.0615 area, marked by the high of the 27th of November. November. To apologize, June, what I was thinking about. This could be the next target, guys, but again, let's go slowly on this one. First of all, the first thing is, yes, although I am targeting this 1.0482, I would like to keep an eye on this 200-day EMA, because if the pair somehow drops back below this 200-day EMA, it's going to put me back into this neutral spot where I'm going to be, then again considering this 1.0222 territory for the downside. So that's it, guys. I'll have to wrap it up here. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your views, your likes, your comments, and I really hope you found this video useful. If you want to catch me tomorrow morning, as always, at my Trader's Espresso, yeah, that's 7 o'clock GMT time. But yeah, guys, I hope this day might not be the most exciting one, guys. In terms of the economic calendar, I think we have I think we have some news. Oh, if you do like to trade Turkish lira against any other currency, then yeah, it could be an interesting one today. And we do have the ECB monetary policy meeting account of monetary policy meeting. So yeah, it could be an interesting one as well. Maybe some movement here in the euro dollar. But in general, the trading might be a little bit on the lower side due to U.S. holidays. But Friday, coming up Friday, maybe that's where it could become a little bit more interesting. So, long story short, guys, I hope you'll have a fantastic trading day. Stay safe, and I'll see you later tomorrow. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.